Good morning. This is Hop Talk for Wednesday, March 25th for Hopkins English Period 2. Talk to you about Governor's new proclamation, talk to you about book reports, and then I'm going to talk to you about Chapter 3 of That Was and This Is Now, and a few of the other due dates that are happening today. So that's the plan for about the next 5 minutes or so. So as you heard, or you may not have heard, the governor extended the statewide shutdown to Friday, April 10th. That means that if that went according to plan, we would go back to school on Monday, April 13th. So as you guys have seen how the world changes so quickly, and it changes here in Great Falls rapidly too, that may or may not stick according to plan. He said in his proclamation that it could be lifted or extended. So I'm just telling you the news. I don't know or have any predictions of what could happen. If, and this is a huge if, it stayed, my plan would be to wrap up on Wednesday, April 1st. No joke. And that would be the last day that I would assign any work. Then you'd have Thursday, Friday, and then all of spring break to make up any late work or work that people haven't finished throughout the shutdown. But again, that's an if. That's speculation. Obviously, we're moving day by day during these classes. You have book reports due tomorrow, so I'll put those in Google Classroom later in the day. And it's going to be a form, a template it actually says, and you're going to copy that. So when you ask me for access to the form, I'm not going to grant you access, because if I do, then everybody sees how you're editing the form. And the point is that it's a template and everybody can add their own book. So that'll be in Google Classroom later today. You have tomorrow to do that. If you have more than one book that you want to give a report on, you would make more than one copy and submit that to Google Classroom. That's where I'll be looking for those assignments. So you read Chapter 3 of That Was Then, This Is Now, either last night or you'll read it today. But we're introduced or reintroduced to Pony Boy. Pony Boy is at the dance that Brian takes Kathy to, and Mark is there. And Mark is better friends with Pony Boy than Brian is. Brian, in fact, doesn't like Pony Boy, which is a little awkward for us as the reader, because he's the main character of the book we just read, The Outsiders. He's a likable character. He's our hero. We did the hero's journey for Pony Boy. So we know that he is a good person at heart, especially at the end of The Outsiders when he breaks that glass and says, "Get out of here," to those socias, and then he ends up picking up the glass that he broke on the car. So we know that he's a good character at heart, but Brian doesn't see that at first. He thinks he's conceited and stuck up, but it's not until Mark gets jumped and Pony Boy helps him that he just realizes that Pony Boy is shy. When I read it, I see that there's a kind of a change in Pony Boy. Maybe it's just because he doesn't have as much voice as he did in The Outsiders, but I'm interested to hear what you think. Do you see that that's the same Pony Boy that you read several weeks ago in The Outsiders? Think about that writing style. So we need to start talking about Mark and where his values and Brian's values are. Mark jumps in the middle of this fight for Pony Boy. Pony Boy is kind of set up, and the bottle that goes to Mark's head was intended for Pony Boy, but Mark jumps in the middle. I'm wondering what you think about that. Would you do that? And let's go back one chapter to Mike Chambers. Mike Chambers was doing a nice thing and helping out, giving that girl a ride home. I think her name was Connie. He gives her the ride home, but Mark says it was stupid. It was stupid of him to be put in that situation. Brian disagrees. Now, is it stupid for Mark to be put in that situation with Pony Boy, to come in the middle of that fight, which he doesn't have a dog in the fight, and ends up with a cracked head and a concussion? So, what are your thoughts on that? Okay? Be thinking about that. Is Mark hypocritical, or is he a good guy? And we'll be talking about that. But to me, there's that. It's not a coincidence that you hear the Mike Chambers story in Chapter 2, and then Mark does this. So we'll be talking about that. That reference to Pony Boy in Chapter 3 is what's called, for English terms, it's called an allusion. An allusion is a reference back to something else. I showed you the clips of Gone with the Wind and Outsiders movie when we watched the movie. Those credits, and then we looked at the Robert Frost poem in The Outsiders. That's an allusion. Allusion is a reference to something else. So the fact that Pony Boy is in there and it says he's kind of a folk hero because something bad happened is an allusion to the Outsiders. So probably within next week, we'll be doing a Frere model for the word illusion. It's a fancy term for reference. So you don't have anything due today. It's kind of a catch-up day, and I rearranged that on the Google Stream and on Planbook. So if you haven't finished reading Chapter 3, you need to do that, and you'll have your comprehension quiz due tomorrow. If you want to work ahead, you can and do the quiz. It's there on the stream for you, but that's where we are. As usual, if you have any questions, contact me at Remind, call me 268-6267, or you can email me at jerry_hopkins@gfps.k12.mt.us. Other than that, I hope you're having a good day, and I hope you're safe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.